Very special guest to talk to this afternoon, I should say. It is Hallsville native Justin Shaffer. Justin, how are we doing today?
Good, and you guys?
Oh, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Hey, let's just jump right into it. You got a big accomplishment that you were able to do this year. You're headed to the National Finals Rodeo in Las Vegas for the first time in your career, correct?
Yeah, that's right. It's first time.
All right. So, how's that feel? What's the excitement level like to being able to compete at the NFR?
Oh, I'm pumped. I've worked a long time for it. I mean, since I graduated high school, it's been the goal. So it's 10, 12 years now working to this goal. So it's a lot of, I guess, the biggest emotion, a lot of hard work paid off. So it's good.
Yeah, and a lot of hard work. And you're a steer wrestler, so I know that's a lot of hard times at the rodeo as well. But talk to me a little bit about the journey to get to this point. So, for those that may not know, how does it work to qualify for the NFR?
Yeah, so a little different than some sports where, you pay an entry fee, you pay your own fuel to get to the rodeo, you do all those things. And then on top of that, our preparation comes. You got to have live steers and horses and a facility to do all that to prepare for that event. And then there's the journey of actually competing and the ins and outs of learning how to rodeo and enter rodeos and what rodeos to go to and not to go to. Um, we we usually travel in a crew of guys, especially in the steer wrestling. We can enter four guys in a crew, and that helps split the fuel up. But you pay your fees, you show up, and then they pay a certain amount of places per rodeo, depending on how many people were entered. They pay 6 to 10 holes, and if you win, you advance, and it goes off money won to get to the NFR. Um, and at the end of the year, you count 80 rodeos, and the 15 best guys make it there. So you're spending a lot to hope to make a little and make the finals, and that's where all the big money is. So.
Well, so that's what I was going to ask you. What's the strategy, or what was your strategy, I should say, to get to this point? Is it kind of hitting the bigger rodeos where there's bigger payouts, or are you looking for more consistency and hitting as many rodeos as you can and just kind of get consistent money?
Yeah, so at this point in my career, I kind of got the rodeos I like, and that I do good at, and you gotta recognize that your horsepower and where you're gonna shine at. But we only get to count 80 rodeos a year. You can go to as many as you want, but you get to count 80 towards what we call our world standings, and in that you got to pick those 80 rodeos. We usually give it a 2-year process if you want to make the NFR and you feel like you've put in the time and you got the goods to get there. Um, we usually say you got to go for 1 year to get into the top 30 or 50 in the world mainly, to get into all the winter rodeos, which are big building rodeos that only take an X amount of guys. They usually take 35 to 40 in the world standings from last year. So usually try to get your qualifications up, get into all the big rodeos, and then your 80 rodeos you want to, for the most part, 75% of those rodeos you're going to go to the biggest paying rodeos there is.
Well, in the journey, I know, like you said, you're on the road all the time. So when you're getting ready to go to Vegas, and it's a 10-day rodeo, so you're going to be out there every day for those 10 days. What's your mindset going into that? Is it, do you want to get off to a hot start, or do you just kind of want to be consistent with every day that you're out there?
You know, for me personally, this is my first year going. I've actually got to experience the NFR a few times with other guys, helping and hazing and doing some stuff like that. And then obviously we try to keep it simple. It's not easy, but you try to keep it simple, and especially the steer wrestlers. We kind of are the meatheads of the rodeo world. We kind of the big guys, they call it. So we try to dumb it down the best we can, and you're still just bulldogging a steer. You try not to live up to the hype is awesome, but you try not to let it affect you while you're out there. For me, I'm gonna go at it and see how it works for me this year. But I'm gonna go at the first 3 steers, aggressively, but not overshooting. Not to set expectations to win every round. I'd love to go place on my first 3 steers, but the average is a big part of that 10 head rodeo out there. It's 10 nights and it pays a 10 head average too. So we run 3 sets of steers out there, and then they rotate back in with those steers. And I feel like if I can go with the first 3 and just do what I know I can do and make the best run I can make, and then if you want to game plan a little and get a little more aggressive in certain situations, you can, because you know the steers.
Sounds like you got a good mindset and a good game plan going into it. Well, what does it look like for you right now? Just under a month until till the rodeo starts out there in Vegas. So, what does the next month look like for you getting ready for that?
So as of right now, and we're actually watching it rain, so we can practice right now as we speak. We're hoping it'll let up so the ground's not too muddy. But the grind is full force right now. We're running steers every day, working on what we call little things, or perfecting everything. Um, this next week we'll kind of turn that loose just a little bit and not tear things down so much. I've already changed my gym routine to I have a rest day in between every day now, and um, backed off lifting so heavy and some of those kind of things. So I'm already dialing that in. And then as far as the steer wrestling goes, we'll get to run some of them steers that are going to be at the NFR and go through and set our pins. So we'll get to let our hair down and just see where we're at as far as our technique and our horses, and just let all that be what it is. So the next 2 weeks we have some jackpots to go to, competition runs to get to kind of go see where we're at, and we'll leave the weekend of right after Thanksgiving, so we have until then to leave, and that last week, if I want to work on one last thing, I will. But I really mainly want to not tear anything down, build everything up from here.
Yeah, absolutely. You've done all the hard work now. Now it's time to see the fruits of the labor there. Well, Justin, man, we're extremely proud of you here, and best of luck to you at the NFR. And I'm sure we'll talk to you then.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks, buddy.